You're listening to Let Go and Let God with your host, Art Soriano.
Let go and let God, always let Him lead. Whatever faces us, He is all we need. Let go and let God show us the right road. Unburden our load, let go and let God. Hi, this is Art Soriano, and welcome to this episode of Let Go and Let God. Today we're going to talk about something many of us experience, even if we don't always think about it. Our topic is serving without applause. It should never be about the recognition when doing something for others, but rather the pleasure it brings them and that we're pleasing our Lord. My guest today is Sean Callahan, President and CEO of Catholic Relief Services. And as always, we'll talk about prayer, and I will play some of my music. So if you're struggling with your faith, have doubts, or lack faith, please keep listening, because together we'll get you to a better place. On our last show, our topic was when life doesn't go as planned, and how so many of us may not achieve the goals we have dreamed of. But if we learn to include the Lord in our hopes and dreams, we not only have a greater chance of achieving them, we find ourselves in much better places than we could have ever imagined. On today's show, our topic is serving without applause. As Christians, we're expected to put the needs of others before our own. Whether it's something simple like helping an elderly person walk across the street, or something bigger like mowing a sick neighbor's lawn, these deeds should be done without fanfare, expectation of gratitude, or compensation. Instead, they should be acts of kindness. Well, most of us do these types of things all the time without thinking much about it, and that is exactly the way it should be. But unfortunately, it's not always that simple, and there are many people who only go out of their way to help others when there's something in it for them, or it brings them pleasure because it lets them feel as if they're better than the person they're helping. A man has fallen on hard times, and his wealthy brother is willing to loan him money. But before he does, he has to make him feel worthless because he is in need of money and doesn't have it. So the brother has to make him feel worse, reminding him of how wealthy he is and how poor the brother is. That is not Christian, and it is not serving without applause. But here is something we should all know. Yes, the Lord expects us to put the needs of others before our own, and He also expects us to do it without any expectation of recognition. But when we do, guess what? It not only shows our God we are following His laws and commands, it also allows Him to reward us for our good deeds. Again, that is not the reason we help others, but it is something we should know and all be grateful for. In the Bible it says, Matthew chapter 6, verse 3, "But when you give alms, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing." This Bible verse supports exactly what I have been saying. We serve others for the love of God and not for our own expectation of rewards. Understanding why we put the needs of others first is another part of living life as a Christian. Today's topic is serving without applause. I will admit there are times when we do something nice for someone and they don't even say thank you, like when you're holding the door open for someone entering the building walking behind us. We find it rude, and it is, but remember, the Lord knows what we did. And rather than get ourselves bothered by someone's ungratefulness, pleasing the Lord is really all that matters. And always think of things in the reverse. How do we react when someone does something nice for us? Do we show our gratitude with words of thanks? Serving without applause works both ways. We should never expect any recognition, but we should always show our appreciation when someone does something nice for us. The first song I'm going to play today has a nice message. The song is called "I Put My Life in Your Hands." When I wrote this song, I thought of my life before I found Jesus And then when I did and I let him lead, how much happier my life has been. Please listen now to my song, I Put My Life in Your Hands.
There are times when I give in to fear, and moments when I have doubt. There are days when I feel so confused, worried how things will work out. But then I think of you, oh Lord, and suddenly I worry no more. You take care of me, you are always there. I put my life in your hands. You protect me and you hear my prayers. I put my life in your hands. There are times when I feel so lost, and moments when I want to run and hide. There are days when I feel so empty, with such uncertainty inside. But then I think of you, oh God, and suddenly I know where you are. You take care of me, you are always there. I put my life in your hands. You protect me and you hear my prayers. I put my life in your hands. I've learned that I shall not go it alone. For when I have failed on my own. I need you in my life and in my heart. You are my guide, my loving God. You take care of me, you are always there. I put my life in your hands. You protect me and you hear my prayers. I put my life in your hands. You hear my prayers. I put my life in your hands.
Art will be right back.
What does it mean to live a life of faith? What does it mean to live as a Catholic Christian? Hi, this is Bishop Kevin Sweeney, host of the podcast Beyond the Beacon. Join me as we discuss the mysteries of our faith, of the church, of living as Catholic Christians. Be inspired by engaging interviews with priests and seminarians, deacons, religious, women and men who live the life of faith day by day. How is God working in their lives today? Join me as I ask them and be part of the conversation on Beyond the Beacon. Listen and follow Beyond the Beacon wherever you get your podcasts, or watch it on my YouTube channel. Thank you and God bless you.
Today, we're honored to be joined by Sean Callahan, President and CEO of Catholic Relief Services, an organization serving millions of people around the world through humanitarian aid, development, and the love of Christ. Sean, thank you so much for joining us on Let Go and Let God. How are you today?
Great, and great to be with you, Art.
Sean, what is the mission of Catholic Relief Services? And how does your faith guide the work you do, serving people around the world?
CRS has a fantastic mission, and that's to save, protect, and transform lives. And we basically put faith into action, that gospel message. And so I find that faith is integral to everything we do. So it's reaching out to people, cherishing and respecting the human dignity and the sacredness of life of everyone. And we try to put that into practice as we assist people in accessing education, healthcare, food, water, and employment opportunities. So we also try to connect people in the United States with people overseas. So it really is building communion among people so that we can show that we're one human family.
Well, Sean, that's a wonderful concept. And it leads into my next question. Now, I'm sure you have many, but can you share a story that shows how Catholic Relief Services is making a real difference in someone's life?
Well, I have a story about a woman in Ghana named Amma who was in her village giving birth and gave birth to a child and found that she was still pregnant. Her traditional birth attendant advised her, and she was exhausted and couldn't go on. So CRS has a program where you can call a motorcycle ambulance into that area, and they did just that. She was transported to the hospital, gave birth to the second child, and found out there was a third child in her womb, which she also successfully gave birth to. And so these type of activities that CRS does are not only faithful activities, but also the sacredness of human life, and having this family now be whole, protecting the life of the mother, protecting the life of the children. And we found that on telling this to the president of Ghana, he decided to spread this program throughout the country. So a little bit of investment from CRS and our supporters saved lives, but also transferred this miraculous program throughout much of northern Ghana.
Well, Sean, that was a wonderful story, and thank you for sharing it. Now, Sean, what gives you hope when you see how faith and compassion are transforming lives through the work of Catholic Relief Services?
You know, the biggest thing, Art, I find is the hope that we see and the transformation in people. People see how strong they actually really are. I met a woman in a refugee camp who had just come on a long trek, 5 months pregnant, and she showed me the little hut that she had made by herself and put some plastic bags over it to protect her children from the cold and the rain. But it was immaculately clean. And she told me how proud she was. And then she mentioned, I appreciate the assistance I've received. And I now welcome anyone new into this village. They can stay in my tent until they can build a little hut of their own. So it's seeing how people all are from that one human family, love one another, and reach out to try to provide hope and assistance to others.
Well, that is such a blessing to hear. Well, Sean, for our listeners who would like to learn more about Catholic Relief Services and the important work you're doing around the world, where can they go for more information?
They can go to www.crs.org or crsespanol.org, or they can reach us on 877-HELP-CRS. That's 877-435-7277.
That website again is crs.org. And I want to thank you, Sean, for sharing the important work of Catholic Relief Services and for the many ways you and your team are serving those in need around the world. We're grateful for your time and for joining us today on Let Go and Let God.
Thanks, Art.
Today we're talking about serving without applause. As I said earlier, most of us do these things for others without thinking much about it. But those tend to be the smaller things and they don't require much thought. But if we were the ones who needed to loan money to a relative or needed to go way out of our way to give a friend a ride somewhere, or faced with some other major inconvenience, do we do it? Do we hesitate? Do we ask ourselves, do I really have to do this? There may be good reasons for our apprehensions. Perhaps we have loaned the person money before and they never pay us back. Or we are always driving a friend somewhere, yet they never offer to chip in for gas and it's expensive. It's okay if we feel this way for those reasons, but before we flatly refuse, there is something better we can do. Pray. Pray to Jesus and let him know how we are feeling and why. Maybe we just don't have the money to lend right now. We want to, but we really can't. Open up to Jesus through prayer and let him guide us and hopefully intervene. Maybe someone else may step forward who is in a better financial place, or maybe through prayer, we may find ourselves coming into money, perhaps with an unexpected tax refund. Remember, when Jesus is involved, nothing is impossible. If we are in a position to help someone with a request and we just don't want to because we don't want to get involved, then we need to pray to Jesus about that and open up to him and ask for his guidance. Through prayer, we can share anything that is on our minds, and the more we open up to Jesus and talk to him, the more he is able to help us get through whatever we are facing. So as we go through our week, remember to pray to Jesus at least once a day and share with him whatever is on our minds. Understanding how important prayer is another step in living life as a Christian. This next tune is a worship song acknowledging our God. Please listen now to my song, Be a Believer.
Feel his
Art will be right back.
You're listening to Let Go and Let God with your host, Art Suriano. If you would like to learn more about Art, email him your questions, or listen to the music you are hearing on these shows. Just log on to letgoandletgod.net or find him on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, iHeart, or Apple. You can also listen to the podcast version of all the shows wherever you get your podcasts, or log on to letgoandletgod.net.
Recapping today's topic, serving without applause, tells us that as Christians, we are obligated to put the needs of others before our own. And when we do help someone in need, we do it without any expectation of recognition, because the only one we need to please is our God. When we live our lives with this mindset, two things happen. First, we are more at peace because we know in our hearts that we are obeying our Lord's wishes and pleasing Him. And second, because we are, there is a greater chance that the Lord will reward us for our humble actions. It makes sense, for in the Bible it says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters." This Bible verse tells us that we do for others, not for ourselves, not for their recognition, but for the grace of God. Embrace the concept of serving without applause, and we will live happier lives. And finally, the last song I'm going to play reminds us that it is greater to give than to receive. Please listen now to my song, "Giving is Much Better Than to Receive."
Many in this world have so much they could share. Some just don't see the need, others just don't care. But when we learn to give, we find the meaning of love. For every good gift comes from God above. God taught us all to love and to give. Open your heart, it's how we should live. Giving is a feeling that comes from your heart. The Lord says to give, but we shall not want. Giving helps so many, all those who are in need. Giving is much better than to receive. Look at what you have, what can you do without? See someone in need and give without doubt. More than doing good, it's an act of God. Don't ask if you should, it's how you do your part. Those who give are happier in life. Open your eyes and take His advice. Giving is a feeling that it comes from your heart. The Lord says to give, but we shall not want. Giving helps so many, all those who are in need. Giving is much better than to receive. Give to those who beg from you. Give to the needy. Give to those who ask for help and do it quietly. No time to put on airs and tell others all you did. God knows and that's what counts, but vanity forbids. to give, for we shall not want. Giving helps so many, all those who are in need. Giving is much better than to receive.
Art will be right back.
What does it mean to live a life of faith? What does it mean to live as a Catholic Christian? Hi, this is Bishop Kevin Sweeney, host of the podcast Beyond the Beacon. Join me as we discuss the mysteries of our faith, of the church, of living as Catholic Christians. Be inspired by engaging interviews with priests and seminarians, deacons, religious, women and men who live the life of faith day by day. How is God working in their lives today? Join me as I ask them and be part of the conversation on Beyond the Beacon. Listen and follow Beyond the Beacon wherever you get your podcasts, or watch it on my YouTube channel. Thank you and God bless you.
Each week, we conclude with a special message or story from God's Corner. This is titled, No Need for Fanfare. The greatest acts of kindness are those done without expecting anything in return. No praise, no recognition, and no reward. For true charity is quietly offered and given for the right reason, to follow the way of our Lord and help someone in need. The next time we choose to do something kind for another, let it be done with humble hearts, for there is no need for fanfare. Well, that's all the time we have today on Let Go and Let God. I would like to thank my guest, Sean Callahan, and if you'd like to learn more about me, email me or listen to the music you were hearing on these shows, simply log on to letgoandletgod.net. We're pleased to be listed in FeedSpot.com's Top 15 Contemporary Christian Podcasts. Please remember to like our podcast, write a review, or share the show with a friend. Have a blessed week, and I look forward to seeing you next time on Let Go and Let God.
Let go